Hello. Long time no see. It's been a while. It's been a long time. I thought I was gonna make all these update videos and I didn't. There was a big wrench in the process. So here I am. I have some time and I thought I would just sit down. It's I probably could have kept putting off making this video because I just don't feel great today, but I feel like it was maybe a good opportunity, so I'm gonna make a little update video, hopefully real quick and it won't take forever. A lot of people have found me through Instagram and have asked about SOT and different questions through here about how I'm doing and how it worked and how I felt about it. It's been about a year and a month since going down to Georgia, the Genesis Center, and a year and a month. It was at the end of August, beginning of September of last year. So yeah. So December of last year, that's the last time I got tested, and my numbers were way down. I think the Borrelia burgdorferi was like undetectable. There was another Borrelia that kind of came out, but nothing too concerning, because sometimes when you take care of one infection and you test, like, you start seeing other things pop up. But yeah, that was huge. Those numbers went way down and I felt it. It's big. And then a lot of my other co-infections were coming down. The Bartonella had been high and it seemed like that was coming down, and Babesia, and I can't remember my Epstein-Barr levels. I feel like that's kind of always a thing, but yeah, it seemed like everything was working really beautifully and I felt it, and it was really exciting. And then I got COVID in January and it just smacked me in the face. It was my third time and I was pretty sick. I mean, I got through it, and then within like a week or two, I started noticing a lot of my symptoms return. Severe anxiety, brain fog, obviously still a thing. But head pain and pressure, that was like a really big thing, really big part of when I was at my worst. That neuroinflammation and that nerve inflammation, and muscle weakness, joint pain, brain fog. Just, there was a bunch of stuff I can't remember at the moment, but it was super scary. And so I was like, okay, I feel like I know what's going on, and whether this is Lyme or co-infections or just inflammation from COVID, they're probably all working together. And so I just went and started doing ozone therapy right away, and that's what really moved the needle for me when things were really bad. And then after that, I got to a steady place and then decided on the SOT back in, I guess it was last year. It feels like forever ago. But I think it was the very beginning of, well, maybe it was like February or March of 2022, where I was doing a lot of ozone, and it was really helping after like 15 passes, 15 sessions. So, and then I think it was like around springtime that I got the ball rolling with the SOT stuff and started making the appointments and yeah, getting in with the doctor, getting the blood work, and then, it was slow moving. So yeah, I went back to ozone and just started going every single week, knowing that I had to, and I feel like it really helped a lot. And probably around the 10th time is really when I saw more of a difference, which was good because I had plan this trip to India. So I was trying to get all this ozone in before going on this trip. I wasn't even sure if I would be able to go. I was not well and just nervous and scared, and yeah, but I finally got to a point where I felt well enough to make that trip, and it was hard. And I did it, and I'm glad that I went. And yeah, but since returning from that trip, like still going back to ozone and kind of scaling that back to once every few weeks or even once a month with a higher dose. And that's all I can, like, that's all I can afford. It's so expensive. Like, one session for high dose is $425. The low dose is $300 and something. So it's just, it's wild. But yeah, it's something I'm still continuing to do now once a month. But I feel like I haven't been able to get back to where I was at before COVID, just how great I was feeling or starting to feel. I have just had so much brain fog, and the head pressure has kind of came and went, mostly like not present, which is great, but there will be a week here and a week there, sometimes 2 weeks where it's present. And then just insane fatigue, just like no energy, muscle weakness, just feeling like it hurts to lift my arms. Yeah, and just trying to push through it and thankfully feeling well enough to kind of push through it. And, you know, doing all the things, supplements and exercise, and trying to take care of like my mitochondria, and trying to take care of my diet and my inflammation and my mental health and sleep and hydration and you know, just the basics, the fundamentals, drainage and detox pathways. And I've been on a gut protocol for quite a while, and before that was on a parasite cleanse, which hopefully was helpful, especially after going to India. I didn't see anything come about of all of that. But yeah, so I've been through a lot, you know, since, well, this year. But yeah, I think I'm to the point now where I just can't move the needle. I feel like I feel stuck, and it's heavy, and it feels hard and frustrating, and I feel like there's something I'm missing. Maybe I need to do some intense brain retraining, you know, just to really help with the fear and sometimes just spiral of anxiety and PTSD. You know, if I have like a flare and I wake up anxious or my head hurts, I kind of spiral into thinking I'm going all the way backwards, which isn't fair, but it's the truth. But it's not fair to just put myself in that position, like after everything that I've done. But I think once you have experienced how drastically your life can change so quickly, you know that anything's possible. So for me, I'm constantly like bracing, you know, what if I wake up tomorrow and I'm back there and I don't know how to get out, and I lose everything again, like, or in a different way. There was so much loss within the year that I was really sick. So yeah, it's hard. I don't want to lose anything else. I just want to hold and maintain and keep things steady. And so I have been looking into a bigger treatment again, whether that's SOT or Limstop is definitely high on my possibility list. I kind of came to the thought the other week that that was my plan for sure. There's just a lot of fear. So a lot of worry of herxing, or what if I make things worse, or just all the what ifs, all the things. So it's not easy at all. I guess there's lack of trust and faith in my journey, and a sense of like, no matter what, like I'm going to be held and supported and everything's going to be okay. I very much am to the path of thinking of like, yeah, just the absolute worst. Like, what if I lose everything and become homeless and like I have no one? And it's just wild, like how much fear all this can create, because you see it. Like, I'm on Facebook groups that have so many beautiful stories, but then there's the ones where all this completely shatters everyone's reality, and I experienced that, and I don't want to experience it again. And it's like probably possible, but also highly not possible at the same time. And there could be so much health and healing and improvement. So it's just like holding the whole entire spectrum of the situation, and not just going to the corner of fear, which I'm just so easily pulled into. But yeah, so that's the direction at the moment. So just feeling like I need something else, and perhaps like a viral protocol, just the viral load that I have between COVID and Epstein-Barr and some other things, like working with my coach, who is incredible, and she's a holistic health practitioner, and it's just an incredible wealth of knowledge. But just working with her to consider getting these things down and diving into different protocols. But yeah, I think also a bigger treatment for maybe Lyme, like who knows where it's at after COVID, and yeah, just co-infections and other things. Limestop can even treat long COVID. They can treat all sorts of things. I don't know if you're familiar with Limestop or not, but it's pretty incredible. Just, it's very alternative. It's a very different way of healing, but the stories I've read have been incredible for people who have just experienced so much traction and so much healing. And of course, there's always the group of people who have gotten worse, or are really struggling through their healing with herxing or different things coming up, feeling like they're going back before they go forward. So it's a lot. But that's with any group. It was like that with the SOT group as well. So just made a decision and went for it. And yeah, things did get hard. Like that month after SOT was awful. But then just like feeling how things got better, it was so worth it. So if you are thinking about SOT, and the reason why I'm not thinking about doing an SOT again is mainly because of blood work. I canceled my health insurance. I just don't even understand why I thought that was a good decision. I mean, honestly, I was like, I'm not using it for anything. Nothing's covered. And then as soon as I canceled it, I was like, oh, blood work's covered. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was interesting. But just the testing that's needed for SOT until I get health insurance again, it's not an option for me. I don't want to pay $3,000 for some blood work. And with Limestop, it's not a part of the whole thing. So yeah, and there's a lot of information on Limestop out there, so you could definitely look it up and join the Facebook group and just dive into some people's stories. There's been a few people who have posted their journey on YouTube, but yeah, I love the idea that they can treat for a whole spectrum of things versus just SOT, which is made specifically for one pathogen infection, and then the thought of that is like getting that under control and freeing up your immune system will help everything else, which I believe as well. But yeah, so this is where I'm at. My update is SOT was absolutely worth it. I would do it again. I would highly recommend it. I felt just in such good hands, and the progress that I saw was proof of the medicine. So yeah, but it's been a hard year. It's been a hard year. And I so much want to be on the other side, and I've kind of really retracted and cocooned a lot with still trying to move forward. Like, I graduated a breathwork facilitator program and have been really diving into that, and trauma work and nervous system work, and opening doors in all sorts of ways, and holding grief workshops, but it's hard when you don't feel well, because it feels like it's, even though these things that are your dreams that you're trying to really bring into fruition, it feels like even your dreams are like pushing a big rock uphill and you just want to be able to really enjoy it, and it make you feel alive and excited, and you can't wait to like put all the work into it, and it just hasn't like fully felt that way. So yeah, but yeah, it's not an easy journey. And sometimes I wonder, I watched a video last night of this beautiful teacher, and it was chronic illness as teacher, and very much like diving into the thought process of, what is this trying to teach me? What is it that I like am not allowing myself to learn, or what is it that I am learning? How do I really open my eyes to these lessons and what my soul is here to do, and what I'm supposed to step into, and like just the authentic truth of what all this is, without it trying to make it something else. Just, you know, I felt myself retract, because I'm normally not like this, but I just want to have something good to say, something positive to say, something uplifting, and to share my story and it be inspirational, and I got through it, and I can be a light and a beacon for other people to be like, whoa, she did it, I can do it too. And I guess you could say that in some ways, but I just feel so far from that, and I feel weak, and I feel like, you know, just beating myself up. And that's probably a big part of this, is finding a lot more self-love and compassion, you know, but just feeling like, you know, I just want good things to report. And I feel like, yeah, just to not be viewed as someone stuck in their illness and not getting it and not doing the right things. And I don't know. I think it's just hard. So, but I think that there's so much power and beauty and strength in the darkness, and I'm here for that, and I'm here for being real, and not faking being somewhere that I'm not. So yeah, and just letting go of however that comes across, you know. I just don't want to be the sick girl, like chronically ill, like that word makes me frustrated. I don't want to be the woman who just always has something wrong with her. I don't want to be the person that just I don't know, is in this light of constantly struggling, but it's hard when I am struggling to present that everything's okay and I have so much faith and trust and I'm gonna get through this. Like, you know, that's maybe where brain retraining could come in to just shift my mindset a bit and just have more faith and trust. But when something's wrong, I very much prepare for the worst. It's probably not helpful. And I just can't pretend that everything's okay. There's a sense of, if I talk myself into believing that it's all going to work out and I'm going to get through it and things are going to be fine, and if it doesn't, like this big sense of failure and of being a fool, which sounds silly, but I don't want to fool myself, you know, I don't want to fool myself into thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get so much better, everything's gonna be okay, and then just be like, oh, silly me. The grief that comes with that, you know, just letting myself down. But it's also the grief that comes with just missing the moment in life, and worrying and having fear is another part of it. So I guess you just have to pick which one you'd rather feel foolish about. But it sometimes feels like if I am there with my struggle and I'm like hanging on to it and I'm like in how hard it is, that like I'm standing up for myself, I'm standing up for what I'm going through, and no one else is going to do that, and this is how hard it is, and it's just not a great way of living and being, fighting for so much darkness and not really letting the light in. So darkness is absolutely important and valuable, but it's also a well that you can fall down and just feel like you're dying. So anyways, this is long, I'm gonna wrap it up. So SOT, worth it. I would recommend it for sure. Don't get COVID. Yeah, just I'm in the boat of seeing what else I need to do and making a decision and just going forward. So it's hard to, like, one more thing, you know, I've had painful cycles. I probably had Lyme since I was little, I believe. I just had so many ticks on me. It was funny for like just being checked. I thought it felt good for my mom to rummage and pick through my hair to look for ticks. But yeah, so where I'm going with that is I've just, since the beginning of my cycle, I've had terrible cycles and pain, and then I was on birth control and that helped like a little bit with the pain, but then wasn't worth it to me at all. So I got off of that a long time ago, like probably like 11 years ago. But I've had really painful cycles and just a lot of intensity down there with cyst and pain, and just sometimes feeling like things aren't right, and just experiencing more of that now. And I know a lot of women feel like Lyme contributes to the difficulties of their cycle, just that inflammation and just Lyme and these co-infections attacking different systems. So I've been having a lot of problems there, and yeah, so trying to get all that checked out in the midst of all of this, and praying that everything is okay. And now it's tricky when you have another health problem that feels like it's on top of all this other stuff. Is it because of my Lyme? Is it because of all of this stuff? Or is this completely separate? If I take care of all these infections, will it take care of this? If I go through the stress of having something else wrong, is it going to flare all this stuff more so? There's just, I mean, if you're watching this, like, you probably understand it's a lot. So, and I just, yeah, I'm a highly sensitive person with just so many feelings about it all, and sensitive to it all and feel it all. I don't know. So, but yeah, so we'll see where this journey goes, getting all that checked out and then trying to take care of that and then trying to make a big decision on the next step. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have any comments, leave them below. Yeah, it's important to know that we're not alone. It's important to know that we have community in the darkness and that there's light and that we're not weak, that we're so incredibly strong and that we're together and we can do this, and we have each other in a sense. So I believe that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. If there's anything else that you'd like me to touch on, leave it below. I hope that you have a super great, beautiful, wonderful day and you're feeling well, and that you know that you're loved and supported and held, and that there's faith and trust in this journey. So yeah, that it's not for nothing. So